And welcome into NFL Daily on this Monday evening. Cam Rogers coming at you live alongside Tom Downey. Rumors up the wazoo. Trade rumors in particular, Tom. Let's get right into it. Earl Thomas. A lot of recent buzz, particularly because Seattle took on the Dallas Cowboys yesterday.
Just won't go away. Isn't it glorious? Isn't this the best?
Here we go.
So, for starters, there was the report that the Cowboys want to revisit talks with the Seahawks about Earl Thomas, and then Earl Thomas picks off 2 passes, and the Cowboys look like hot garbage and all that, and then it's, the Chiefs might actually make more sense, which I think does, because if you're the Seattle Seahawks, Cam, why would you give Earl Thomas what he wants? Like, you two are a married couple right now that's heading to divorce, and the only reason you're together is to win games, i.e. staying together for the kids. That's why those two are still, I guess, talking to each other at all.
Well, it seems
it's a
like
mess.
The price tag that Seattle has in mind is very, very high as we stand. In terms of a potential trade, the Dallas Cowboys, it was reported they offered a second-round pick a few weeks ago. That didn't happen.
Which is too much.
Does the price tag change in favor of Seattle or against Seattle in terms of heightening and lessening?
I think at some point it has to, because the further along that you go this offseason, the less that Earl Thomas brings you in terms of trade value. Because, you're going to try and extend him. That there's no guarantee of that, even though you get it done, i.e. you get Khalil Mack one. Also, you only get him for like half a year. So that value is going to keep going down and down the further we go along here. That's just the reality of the situation right now. But Earl Thomas has looked fantastic this year.
Yeah, he's been playing great.
He's so good.
Who needs preseason and training camp and all that? Earl Thomas really playing well so far at the safety position for the Seattle Seahawks. In terms of Seattle's next steps, what should they do? Go ahead and vote, folks, on this reaction poll here. Heart for keep, wow face for extend his contract, like for trade, laughing face for cut. Obviously, a cut would be absolutely ridiculous. But a trade would be interesting.
That's why it's the laughy face.
Yes, of course. A trade would be interesting because Earl Thomas appears to want to get paid, and Seattle is seemingly restraining from doing that. Maybe Seattle should just trade him away and be done with it and get that off their chest.
I think that the reality is there's no way that Earl Thomas is going to return to you. Like, he's not interested in doing that. Earl Thomas does not want to come back to the Seattle Seahawks after this year ends. So you can get a 3rd-round pick in theory via the compensatory draft pick, or maybe you can get a 2nd-round pick in a trade. And if you're Seattle, I know you're still trying to win, but if you're not going to win, and I think that's the reality for them long term,
they're 1-2.
You can kind of get a little reset going here.
Yep. All right, so some Earl Thomas trade rumors there. How about some Le'Veon Bell trade rumors? Because this came through yesterday from Adam Schefter that the Steelers are indeed listening to offers for one of the top-line running backs in the National Football League, who, by the way, has yet to show up to Steelers facilities.
Because that's
Le'Veon
a
Bell.
mess right now, in all honesty. This is fascinating to me because we know that a trade is difficult. We'll break down some of the potential trade options later on in the show, but it's not impossible. And Schefter says, and Rapport says as well, trade talks could heat up closer to the trade deadline in October, but that also means, Cam, just like Earl Thomas, that's going to lessen the value that the Steelers can actually get back for Lev Bell, because he hasn't reported yet. And even beyond that, if you're an NFL team and you're trading for Bell, you kind of have to make sure that you get a handshake behind the scene. We got you covered. We're going to agree to this.
That has to happen.
Because, but even if you do get that, agreed to behind the scenes, how do you trust Lev Bell right now?
It's fair.
There's no trust in him because he hasn't shown up to his team. It's been very clear, hey, he wants to get paid. What happens if Lev Bell gets word via the old back channel route from a different NFL franchise, says, hey, we'll double it?
Wow.
You know?
I mean, you're onto something.
Yeah. Like, he'll be like, bye, see you guys. He has no relationship with that team that would trade for him. So that's the major risk involved with any trade for Lev Bell here. And I think that's a big red flag for teams that have interest in him.
And that's why I think the pool of teams that are actually interested in Le'Veon Bell, when it's all said and done, when it's finally reported, it's probably going to be 3 or 4.
It's small. I agree.
High salary cap teams like the Jets, like the Colts, like the 49ers. So what should the Steelers do with Le'Veon Bell? React in this reaction poll here. Yeah. Heart for keep, like for trade, wow face for extend. That doesn't seem likely. And laughing face for cut.
They should have extended him.
July 16th deadline came and gone.
So you can't do that, unfortunately. I think that a trade makes a lot of sense, especially if Lev Bell isn't going to show up in the near future. Like, if Lev Bell isn't going to come back till week 10, aren't you better off just trading him and taking the, you would assume, higher pick now and giving yourself a chance to let James Conner be your guy, get maybe even a halfback back in exchange as well, and then go from there, than to wait and then bring him in a locker room right now that I don't know if they even want him all that much.
See, I'm kind of torn because I somewhat agree with you in terms of running backs not being as valued as, say, somebody like an elite player on the defensive side, like a Khalil Mack. But the other side of things is I believe in a player being paid what they should be paid. And Le'Veon Bell is slightly underpaid. That's the reality of the situation.
He's going to get paid in the offseason.
Yes.
That's the key right there.
But like I said, running backs, value, it's all relative, folks. So there you go. Le'Veon Bell perhaps could be traded. Our friends at BetDSI have the latest odds in terms of where Bell will sign next. We have the field at plus 150. We have the Packers at 275, the Browns at 435, and the Colts at 365. We'll make sure to get those logos fixed up for you guys there. But the Colts make a lot of sense because they have a lot of salary cap space. The Texans make a lot of sense, even though they're not in the top odds here because of the need at running back. Lamar Miller is good, but he's not great. Maybe some team like the 49ers could be thrown into the mix as well, but the Packers have 2 first-round picks in 2019.
And in terms of signing as well, the Colts and Browns make sense because they have the money to afford it. The Colts have plenty, the Jets have plenty as well, and the Niners, well, maybe not with Jerick McKinnon locked up, but certainly an option as well.
All right, so let's continue along here with the latest NFL rumors. This one is news. Baker Mayfield is indeed starting this week against the Oakland Raiders. Hugh Jackson announced it. Took him long enough, by the way. But Baker's the guy.
Let me explain what really happened here, though. Okay, can I just briefly explain what's going on? Hugh Jackson's not going to say after the game that, oh, we're going to sit Tyrod Taylor when he hasn't even talked to Tyrod yet. Like, you can't find out on Twitter that you were benched.
Yep.
That's why it took till Monday, because the Browns had the weekend off. Now it was announced after he discussed it. So not a huge surprise there. Just it was going to take some time. I don't know why everyone got all freaked out about it.
All right. The Baker era has begun in Cleveland. Another rookie quarterback we'll talk about later in the rumor section here. His era is beginning as well. But first, Clay Matthews, perhaps the Packers won't re-sign him.
So, I don't know, 2 weeks ago, something along those lines, we had actually a rumor that the Packers had discussed an extension with Clay Matthews. Now from Bob McGinn, the longtime Packers beat writer, says if the season ended today, the Packers had zero interest in bringing in Clay Matthews, which is a pretty notable thing given how long Matthews has been there. But I think the reality is, Cam, he's not the same guy he once was, even though he keeps getting flagged for multiple roughing the passer penalties because that rule is stupid.
Poor guy,
but he's not the same guy that he once was. So this is maybe a mild surprise, but not like an, oh my God, really? He's not the same guy.
Yeah.
He's not Khalil Mack.
He's older.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk about the quarterback position again. Could it be Ryan Fitzpatrick starting week 4 for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers when Jameis Winston is indeed back?
That seems like the likely outcome here. Now, there is a bit of a but from Jason Lockenfor of CBS Sports. Number one, that no matter what happens, tonight on Monday in week 3, Fitz will be the starter, I guess, unless he gets hurt, of course. 2 main reasons why. Number one, limited prep time playing on Monday going into a Sunday game. It's just more compact schedule. You can keep Fitz in there. And, number 2, obviously, he's been really good, so why bench him? But the caveat there is that after week 4, it's kind of more of a week-to-week basis because, Winston and Evans get along well. You got to keep Evans happy because he's in reality, your franchise player is one of the highest paid receivers in the entire NFL. And the Bucs want to see what Winston can do with this modified offense. It's a little bit different than what it was last season. So I think at some point we'll see Winston, probably once Fitzpatrick, regresses and stops being Fitz magic, which is going to happen.
Oh, of course. And we want you guys voting away here. Who should the Bucs start at quarterback going forward once Winston returns? F for Fitzpatrick. W for Winston. Meanwhile, Fitzpatrick playing tonight, as you mentioned, Tom. Will he throw for 400-plus yards and 4 touchdowns tonight? Our friends at BetDSI have the odds.
I'll take the no. It's tempting because I do like plus 220. I appreciate those types of odds there, but I'm going to say no, Cam.
All right, you guys can bet on that and so much more at chatsports.com/bet. Get free bonus money as well using our promo code LIVE120, chatsports.com/bet. It's very catchy, easy to remember. Go ahead, type it into your browser, sign up today.
And it's the best deal out there. Put down $100. They'll give you $120 for free for a grand total of $220 to bet with on BetDSI if you use that promo code LIVE120.
All right, let's talk about Drew Brees. Had some history yesterday. He's the completion king, but maybe he won't retire soon, at least.
That seems to be what he's implying, and maybe not implying, outright saying, I hope there are lots more years. He is getting older, though. He's 39, and if Drew Brees wants to keep playing, Cam, are we going to run into a situation where the Saints kind of, do what the Chargers did to Drew Brees? They brought in their new guy.
They wouldn't dare.
Yeah, you say that, but he's going to be 40 next year.
Yep.
So he'll play out that contract if he wants to, because of the way it's structured. It's just too much dead money on their cap. But at a certain point, the Saints might have to go, you know what, Drew, we love you, but now you're 41 years old. We're going to go with the young guy in Teddy Bridgewater, who's basically the same age as Carson Wentz, by the way.
You almost forget that Bridgewater's on that roster.
And everyone thinks he's older than he actually is, too.
Yeah, crazy. All right, we'll see about the future with Drew Brees. Let's talk about this Rob Gronkowski trade that almost went down, and it's not surprising in of the least.
Gronk canceled it.
Almost dealt to the Lions, and
I got it.
Gronk stepped in.
Gronk spiked the Lions trade.
That's exactly what he did.
That's cheesy. I'm going to stick with it, though.
He said no to New England.
He only wanted to play for the Patriots, and by the way, with Tom Brady. So I think keep an eye out for that. If Brady retires, maybe Gronk goes out around the same time. Another big note from Schefter on this one, it only would have involved draft picks. I don't know if that's a first and a third, a second or third, or whatever, but wouldn't have been players going back to the Patriots. But fascinating how that Belichick wanted to trade Gronk.
I don't know the intricacies of this potential trade here, Tom, in that let's say New England and Detroit agree to a trade. What can Gronk actually do himself to
Not show up.
Just not show up.
Not show up in the Lions, and that's basically what he threatened to do, because once Detroit couldn't get a hold of him, they're like, this probably isn't going to work then.
Okay.
And Detroit was sad because they did not get him.
All right, we got some new BetDSI odds about Dez Bryant and where he could be headed.
Get to the last, or the second to last one.
Very interesting odds.
Yeah.
So the Texans plus 835. That's some good value there. $10, 83 and 50 cents.
I was really intrigued, and these, by the way, are brand new odds on BetDSI. I was intrigued had Will Fuller stayed hurt. That's when it made a lot of sense for Houston.
Yep. Dallas.
Nope.
Plus 525.
Don't fall for the bait, guys.
Risk 10 to win 52.50.
Don't fall for the bait. It ain't going to happen.
Then
don't fall for the bait.
The Seattle Seahawks here at plus 365. Could make sense. But Pete Carroll recently spoke on it.
They did bring in Brandon Marshall, but now Doug Baldwin's banged up again. And Lockett looked good against the Cowboys, but beyond Marshall and Lockett, do you really trust Jerron Brown? I don't know. I think this is intriguing, but I don't know if they're really a top 5, top 3, whatever option.
Here's what's going to happen.
There you go.
Dez Bryant signing with the New England Patriots. They are the favorites in terms of a team-specific standpoint. Plus 275 there. Then you have the field at plus 210. BetDSI odds. You guys can bet on all of that, and I encourage you to bet on the Patriots.
There you go, Cam.
At chatsports.com/bet.
This has reinvigorated you.
It kind of did,
with the
actually.
Dez Bryant Patriots.
It's me.
That's what happened here.
I'm back from the future. Dez Bryant signs with New England. Be
Thanks,
smart.
Marty McFly.
And go ahead and bet away. Chatsports.com/bet. Promo code LIVE120. All right, one final rumor here. Josh Rosen is your starter for the Arizona Cardinals going forward. You like this.
About time. Sam Bradford's not good.
But there's still a chance. They're 0-3. Sam Bradford's okay.
No, he's not. Have you seen Sam Bradford play? Sam Bradford has been an absolute disaster this year, and I was actually really surprised by the situation the Cardinals put Josh Rosen in this game. Bring him in with like 5 minutes to go, down in the fourth quarter against the Bears defense. I didn't like that at all, but Cam, Bradford's completing 5 yards per attempt.
Oh, that's pretty gross.
62.5%, 2 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, plus he had a fumble in week 3. I'm sorry, Cam. He's just bad. The injuries have sapped him of the talent that, yes, he did once have.